told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Got a buildup of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby I have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away, as you fade away.
Like nothing I felt, my mind overwhelms. I think that I'm broken but I really can't help. I know I'm not perfect, but some days I feel bored or worthless. Baby, you make me feel nervous. If I still have you, I have purpose. It's all worth it.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. I guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away, as you fade away. What's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray.
Baby, let me tell you something. I'm not clearing nothing up. Feel how you want to feel about me and stand on it. Period.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases, head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Well, happy Saturday, folks. Good afternoon. Bullhorn Betty is present. Where was I this morning for Coffee Club? It's Saturday, folks. We needed to sleep in. I bet you were sleeping in as well. You weren't? Too bad. Good morning. It's good afternoon. Let me start over again. Good afternoon, everyone. Karen, the first in our chat to say good morning to me and everyone. Well, good morning, Karen. It was nice to have you in here so bright and early at 1:06, even though this was not starting until 2 p.m. The dedication, folks, the dedication, right? Bullhorn Betty is present. Mary, nice to see you. Jenny Lynn, it's nice to see you as well. Racing, Wendy, Ruby, Linda Lou. Oh, and that reminds me, there's some things that popped in here before this show started that didn't come through this back chat. So give me just a second, because I'm pretty sure it was you, Linda, that had said something. And let me go up there. You used your membership milestone medallion to ask a question. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was something, you might have to put it in here. I saw it this morning, but it has since disappeared. I don't see it anymore. So I don't know where it's at, but I saw it here this morning. You used your milestone. So maybe I'm not there yet, but maybe I'll get to it and see it. But you do say it looks like it was Kiely Rodni driving into the water before 12:30. Authorities have found the car on day one. Their authorities would have found the car on day one. I believe she was too drunk to drive herself. And I think, actually, you know what? As a matter of fact, I think that was the comment, but for whatever reason, it showed the membership medallion earlier today. And we're going to get into that. I'm going to actually just go ahead and put that up on the screen. And then once I'm done saying good morning to everybody, we'll get back to that, because there are some things that I'd like to touch on related to that. Heaven 57, our wonderful sponsor of our green screen, which we're not yet using yet, right? So I've got to do some work on a different type of program other than StreamYard to do some interesting stuff. So we're not quite there yet, but we still are collecting the stuff for the studio. Olivia and I are in the works, with this whole Kiely Rodni and us planning a trip to California and everything like that. We're not really able to focus too much on our collaborative, endeavors, but it's already started. We're already brainstorming. We're going to figure stuff out. We're going to find out what works and what doesn't, right? It's going to be fun, because with Bullhorn Betty and Chronicles of Olivia, how can you not have fun? Because we rock. Let's be honest, we rock. Right? Belinda, it's nice to see you. Chitty bang bang. I was going to say chitty bang bang. It's just one chitty, 2 bang bangs. Be careful. Some of the haters might say something about Bullhorn Betty with that chitty bang bang. Okay, I think we got just about peace and love. Nice to see you. Guidance in Life with TLC. Sheila, nice to see you. Was that you that reached out to me? Somebody reached out to me on Messenger and then went away. I don't know, but I could have sworn it said Sheila on it. But anyways, good morning. Peace and love. Peas in a pod. That's where I need to be, because I am a pea in a pod. No, you changed the song. Kaylee noticed the song changed. Well, it's because the good day is almost at least halfway halfway over here in the state of Florida. You know, I'm not sure about you, but my good day started this morning way earlier than 2 o'clock this afternoon. So I thought, you know what else can we do? You know, I just wanted something different. You know, every now and again, you just need something different, right? Well, that's what the song was. If you guys remember, that was one of the party songs that we had back in the Club BHB days, right? Which weren't too long ago. We had fun on that. This Kiely Rodni case kind of took the channel in a different direction for a little bit, but don't think those things go away. Once this story calms down, we're going to be back to it. We're going to be at our funny evening. We're going to at least do one funny evening. Tomorrow is members only. Remember, we're going to be doing Sunday at 6 p.m. members only chat. So that's coming up tomorrow. Actually, we may have to, I forgot. We can't do it tomorrow. Yeah, we're not going to go into the Bullhorn Betty's personal information, but Sunday, I just remembered, is we're going to do early morning live, and then that's going to be it. But we will do our members only live. We'll move it back. Well, we can do one of two things. I've got a live this morning. We're going to be discussing all this new information that's just been coming out in the last 24, 48 hours. We went over some of that stuff yesterday related to the Kiely Rodni case. And then 6 o'clock tonight, we're going to be talking about the diversion. We talked about this early on in this case when the tow truck guy came out. We're not going to go into too much of the tow truck guy or his association with this case on this segment. That is going to be for 6 p.m. tonight. So if you guys would like to have an open discussion about that, what our thoughts and feelings are now that we have more information, let's go back to the stuff we were reviewing earlier. Let's have a conversation about that and find out, is it relevant anymore? Did we just debunk those statements that the tow truck guy made? I don't know. Crystal, good morning. Cindy M, nice to see you. Jenny, who else do we have in here? Danielle, nice to see you, love. Nice to see you. Kit Kat, peace and love. Patricia Miller, and I am Team Summer. Karma, we need a dose of good karma. And why the homework? Now, actually, let me get through this, and then we'll go over the homework. Varia, nice to see you. I already said hi to Ruby. Karen Davis, Rebel Ray, nice to see you. Grace, nice to see you as well. Vape King in the house. Sassy Patriot. We got Patty Ponytail. Nice to see you guys. It's nice when that chat is working for us. Pepper Pot. When it's not too, I can say hi to you guys. Hi, Val. La la lo love. Free Lolo, folks. Free Lolo. I'm on a free Lolo kick. I'm not going to be done with that free Lolo kick until Lolo is back with her rightful owner. I will continue. If people don't like me, oh well. She's paying me to say I wish there was a refund. Thank you. But you don't need to pay me to tell you to be a nice person. I stayed up. If many of you guys don't know, it was Angela D's birthday yesterday. And I sent her an email, and I didn't know if she got it. So I'm like, I go to bed fairly early. Lately with this whole case, I haven't really been going to bed really, really early. But this particular one, I kept waking up. Last night I went to sleep fairly early, and I kept waking up every hour or two. I kept checking the phone to see if Dolly was going live because I knew it was Angela's birthday. And I got up literally just to tell her happy birthday because I wanted to become personal from Bullhorn Betty. And then she's like, you can go to sleep now. And I have to be honest with you, I did just that. I turned the phone off and went to sleep, and I slept soundly. But without telling her happy birthday, my sleep button didn't go off. So thank you. I hope you had a wonderful day, by the way, Angela D. I know how hard you work, and you do such an amazing job, and you're so kind. We can learn a lot from Angela D. When it comes to that kindness factor, she's got the cool points. You know what I'm saying? She really kind of got the cool points. She's very chill. It doesn't seem like she lets a whole lot rock her boat. She's not a Bullhorn Betty. Piss me off, tell you to go after yourself. You piss Angela D off. She's like, well, what you need to do is you just need to go here and click this and do this and do that. And I think you'll be fine. Bullhorn Betty is like, dude, can you not read? Figure this stuff out. Oh, by the way, guys, if you haven't noticed, I do offend a lot of people here on the streets of YouTube. So if you haven't been offended today by Bullhorn Betty, Sit back, relax. It's coming. No, I'm just joking, guys. Not that bad. Not that bad. But while we're here and we only have 300, before we get started in our stuff, we're going to get back to what we used to do on the Bullhorn Betty channel. This was pre-Kiely Rodni case. And many of us love this language of letting go. We started reading this because we're all dealing with something in our lives. We truly are dealing with something complete. Everybody's dealing with their own problems. I may be dealing with a problem that somebody else is dealing with, and it's no big deal to them, right? But it's a huge deal to me. And vice versa. They may be dealing with a problem that I'm thinking, that's not a big deal, but it's a big deal to them. So somebody's always dealing with a little something, something. You know what I'm saying? They're always dealing with a little gunk and funk in their life. And so I like to not only, many people that are coming to this channel realize this channel really, truly was built on helping people. We deal with true crime. This is an entertainment channel, so we have a little fun with it every now and again. But at the end of the day, we're here to help. And that means helping everyone, not just these cases, not just the missing. There's people in our own audience that come here each and every day that struggle with their own crap that nobody knows about. And so because of that, and because I do the same thing, I get gunky and funky, right? I started reading this in the morning to the audience because I felt like it kind of set the tone for the day. It really set the tone, to get them in a good mood, uplift them. I mean, that really truly is what my desires are, is to learn about these things and also uplift people and give people courage. It took me a while to get to where I am today. This was not always me. That took a while. And if I can fix me and be this person, so can each and every person that's struggling. And so October 8th is go at your own pace. And I thought this was really important. And I did look under the hood on this one. Sometimes I just read them. We're learning it together. This one I read before I decided today was the day that we needed to bring it forward, right? So this is October 8th, go at your own pace. This part of the path was steep. The altitude change was severe. I was gasping for breath and trying to grimace the aches in my legs as my hike partner strode up the path in front of me. He stopped and looked back. I was definitely trailing behind. If his legs were aching the way mine were, his stride didn't show. I knew how it felt to hold yourself back to someone else's pace. I didn't want to do that to him just because I was out of shape. Go ahead, I yelled. He looked reluctant. Go, hike at your own pace and I'll hike at mine. I convinced him to leave me behind just because we came together didn't mean we had to hike or walk, as I preferred to call it, in the same stride. I hiked, then rested, then hiked, then rested. Once I stopped and took my backpack off and took a nap. My friend and I joined up toward the end of the day. We made the trek down the mountain together side by side. Even though we simplified things, most things are harder than we think. It's important to let each person go at their own pace. Whether it's working through an issue or tackling a project in your life, find the pace that works for you. Let others do the same. Don't compare yourself to those around you. Let yourself be energized by their pace, but respect the rhythm that works for you. So that I thought was really important, because I think here on YouTube and in any place, even watching movies, we idolize people. We think their life is amazing, but we never get to see behind the curtains. We never get to see behind the closed doors. The persona that they're painting for the people to see may not necessarily be what's real and what is in reality. So don't be judging yourself because of somebody else or somebody else's successes or somebody else's failures. Do that. Do your own pace. So I thought that was really enlightening. I hope somebody got something out of it. I certainly did. And if I got something out of it, I know out of the 300 people in my chat right now, somebody received something from that message. Nice to see you, Don B. I see you in here. Come on, Adventures with Purpose. Let us know what was suspicious. I know it's killing us. I still have a theory on that, Don. I really do. My theory on that is that she was strapped in. She was strapped in. Now, was she, the whole unclothed thing? Why nobody can answer that? It doesn't make sense to me. Either one, they really didn't see her dress. What she was dressed in, not literally a dress, but her wardrobe. And the other thing could be the strap that we've all been talking about. And some people are talking about how some cars have the strap on it to pull the hatch down. Not all cars come with that. Not all Equinoxes come with that. I have an Equinox, right? Not a CRV, but an Equinox. And mine actually has little cubbies for your hand up there instead of a strap where you just pull up and pull down. So, this whole thing that because one car has it, or even one model of vehicle of the CRV has that strap, doesn't necessarily mean all of it does. Just because one CRV model may have a, that neutral ignition switch, blah, blah, safety switch, blah, 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 doesn't mean that they all do. So I think we need to kind of step back and realize that, this may be, oh, thank you. I purchased that book a few weeks ago. It is helpful. I tell you, a lot of people, I've had this book. I've had the Language of Letting Go book literally for over 15 years. When I got this, I think it was 2000, well, maybe not quite over 15 years, maybe. I got it in 2007. So today's 2022. So I think it's been 15 years or darn near 15 years that I've had this very book. And time flies. It's hard to believe I'm old enough to say that, but I am. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. Yeah, it's just something. And we're going to go over these things. So we saw Don B was on here. He brought our attention to the whole look like they did a turn donut thing. And then, I was talking to him about maybe they did that to back the car in to the water. And then I realized, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense either because of the positioning of the lights. But were the lights pointing in that direction? Could we have seen which way the car was pointed when it went under the water from that distance? Maybe, but I'm not totally convinced it wasn't backed in, but I really don't think it was. I think it was driven in. But we start doing and hearing about the calculations. Yesterday, we were talking about the calculations of distance and speed to find out how fast she could have been traveling, because Mama Bullhorn was on here and said the pitch of 29 degrees down should have sped the car up organically to about 15 miles an hour. That's without any work at all. Just by the angle and putting that car in neutral would have picked that car up and allowed it to roll by itself at that angle. Nobody would even need to push the car, and it could get to speeds of 15 miles an hour. But on Michelle After Dark, Miss Robin did send me some information that I thought was very interesting, that Michelle kind of calculated it to being about 11 miles an hour. Again, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because this is not that huge 20, 30 mile an hour, drive right into the water that people were trying to explain to us early on. Aw. Hi, PHB. Can you please read that one more time? Oh, are you talking about the language of letting go? You want me to read that one more time? Let's see. I'll wait for you to respond. Hi, Lucia. Hi, B Betty. Yeah, but you know what, Don? If you look at it, and somebody has been sending me photos, I've been getting a lot of them, and there does, maybe it's one of those wishful thinkings, like you're seeing something that's not there. Trust me, I believe that does happen. But I keep wondering, is that the case here with this photo? Because I'm telling you, I see a couple of pretty defined shadows. I can't tell that they're human. They could be trees or just shadowing from the moonlight against some trees or something. But I'm telling you, it looks like there's some folks, shadows, pretty close to where that car went in. And again, I don't know if it's wishful thinking, if I'm seeing something that's really not there. Let me see what. Hold on. Yes, ma'am. Okay. So she wants me to read this again. I'll read it real quick again. Maybe I won't script the words so much this time. Go on. And by the way, I'm in dark because my fan up here, which always provides light over me, and then I've got this light here, which provides the light this way. The light over me, I have a short in it. I'm not sure. It happened after the hurricane. I thought it was just the bulbs blew, but I put all new bulbs in here, and it blew my new bulbs. So we definitely have a problem. So it's a little dark right here with what I'm reading. So just bear with me, folks. Okay, October 8th. This part of the path was steep, and the altitude change was severe. I was grasping for breath and trying not to grimace at the aches in my legs as my hiking partner strode up the path in front of me. He stood and looked back. I was definitely trailing behind. If his legs were aching the same way mine were, his stride didn't show it. I knew how it felt to hold yourself back to someone else's pace. I didn't want to do that to him just because I was out of shape. Go on ahead, I yelled. He looked reluctant. Go hike at your own pace and I'll hike at mine. I convinced him to leave me behind. Just because we came together didn't mean we had to hike or walk, as preferred to call it, in the same stride. My friend went ahead of me and disappeared from sight. I hiked, then rested, then hiked, then rested. Once I stopped, I took my backpack off and took a nap. My friend and I joined up toward the end of the day. We made the trek down the mountain together side by side. Even though we simplified things, most things are harder than we think. It's important to let each person go at their own pace. Whether it's working through an issue or tackling a project in your life, find the pace that works for you and let others do the same. Don't compare yourself to those around you. Let yourself be energized by their pace, but respect the rhythm that works for you. So there it is. There it is, folks. That's the message, the beautiful message of the day. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, I hope somebody gets something out of it. But let's get on with work. We've been here chitter-chattering for about 20, almost 30 minutes now. Isn't that what we're here for? Come on, Bullhorn Betty. Let's move it along. All right. Before we move it along, if you guys have not gone out and liked this episode, please go out and give me a thumbs up. It is free to say, Bullhorn Betty, thank you. Thank you. And it's not just me. We have a lot of great people that are helping this channel and other channels right along. And it's a lot of our audience, a lot of the other web sleuths and stuff like that. Olivia's been just killing it, by the way. Oh, and in on that vein, before we get into the real work, let's just touch on a little bit of drama, right? Not a drama channel, but something that I just feel like I need to say. You know what I'm saying? Just something I feel like I need to say. Olivia is my friend. I've traveled all over the country with this amazing, talented young lady. Okay. Love her and her mother to death. So much so, I tell them I love them every time I'm on the phone with them. I call her mom. Mom, we are a tight unit. She does her own thing. She's a strong person, and I love seeing her work and I love seeing her grow. That's what friends love, right? We love seeing our friends grow. And so when I hear somebody like the voodoo candle lady sit up on her panel and act like she knows my girl, no. And to call her a loner? Girl, you have not even met Olivia without the crew. What do you mean a loner? Cut it out. Like, girl, don't act like you know me. Don't act like you know her. Don't act like you know any of us. You don't know jack crap. Okay? If you did, I'd actually watch your channel, which I don't because you're full of crap. Go back to cursing your candles and leave Olivia's name out of your mouth because you know nothing about her. Absolutely nothing. Okay, now we can go on. So we saw the whole video of Kiely's car, and let's just go through it real quick. So everybody, that if you guys have not been here or don't know what I'm talking about, we'll go ahead and get you up to snuff here. Give me just a second. Let me clear off my my stuff, my gunk. Oops, wrong button. I always push the wrong buttons. Have you noticed that about Bullhorn Betty? I should stop. Okay, where's my 3-minute one? Is this the 3-minute one? This is the 3-minute one. Okay, this is the one I want to show you guys here. There we go. We'll go ahead and get started on this one. So this is the one we did yesterday. For everybody that's just tuning in, if you guys have not seen this from yesterday, I know you probably see this on a lot of different channels because a lot of different creators have overlaid and wanted to see where this car is. This is the 1233, 1234 mark of Kiely Rodni. And the reason why I'm showing this to you is I think it's important so we can see stuff, right? We need to see this stuff. Let me see if I can get this, to work. I got such a big... So I'm going to do this in fast motion, and then we're going to watch it, okay? Because this right here, you see she's turning around before she goes into that water. So she's in the water right now, and then she just see the light, and it's gone. See the light, and it's gone, okay? So, but when we're up here on the bank, you almost see right there, the turn. See that? That's almost like a circle, like a donut that Don B was trying to explain to us before. Look at that. The lights go all the way around. If you look on the other side of the lake, you see these go around in a circle. You see it go around in a circle. So what does that mean? What does that mean? You see it right there. Did they stop? Because there's definitely a significant stop or pause, and there's definitely a significant a loop, like a 360 on the banks before she went into the water. Okay. And then after that, this whole we have this statement that came forward. This statement from some unknown person provided by a gal by the name of Megan that comes here. Now you can tell that the video that they put out was not the entire interview. It wasn't the entire interview. So I'm curious about that. Why did they, if they had the entire interview, why didn't they publish it? They started, and it's like, you can tell because when it starts, it almost starts in the middle of a conversation where it says, call this number, and the person said no. That's like the very first sentence. Like, who are we talking about, and what is this related to? Nothing. We get no context on where they are. We have no context on how this person, I mean, based upon what they're alleging here in this interview, they are a person that obviously was at Prosser the night that Kiely disappeared. I'm not going to play the interview. If you guys would like to see it, my friend, Crime Stories Obsessed, Emma, has produced a much cleaner copy of that interview, and you are more than welcome to go over there and listen to it if you haven't listened to it yet. Maybe in a few days, we will play it and have a deeper discussion on it, but it just came out. And we're responsible creators here at the Bullhorn Betty channel. And I definitely never want to step on toes, and especially step on toes of friends in this business. And she's our friend and family from across the pond. And we want to definitely, you know, she did great work. We want to definitely bring people to her channel. So if you guys would like to go see and hear that interview, please do. I went through it. I basically dictated the entire interview. So we're going to be talking about it, but I'm not going to be playing it. So it said that one of the first questions was, so you didn't call the police, but you personally saw the car. Now this person believes that they saw the car and very well may have seen this car go into the water. Very well. But they also, guys, we have to take this into consideration, may not have. This person is very, you know, we're listening to this interview and we're very thankful. We're very thankful. Hey, Steffers, nice to see you, hon. We're very thankful that this person came forward and gave us some more talking points, because it did seem very, to me, this interview did seem and come across very authentic to me. I don't know who they are. I don't need you showing me your receipts or anything like that. I don't know the creator. You know, are they looking for 15 minutes of fame? It's possible. It's possible. But this person that they're interviewing, you know, there's a lot of words that they're using. You know, they're saying a lot of F-bombs throughout this interview, and that's okay. And actually almost gives it the appearance of being authentic because of that, because you can see that they're a little emotional about it. You know what I'm saying? They're like, I can't believe they didn't listen. They didn't take this seriously. Like, I was pissed. Like, I was effing pissed. She was right there. Right there. I showed them right there, right? Like, so we're hearing this interview, but we don't know if it's true. if that's really what she saw, because we saw some weird, odd things in a couple other different time lapses that were on the same video. So does that mean anything? I don't know. The person couldn't give really a, hey, Dee, nice to see you. Couldn't really give a definitive answer on what time they saw it. And they were even, the person that was interviewing, which I'm under the understanding that it was this Megan gal. She was like, well, what time did you see this happen? This person gives this huge, massive, like gaping hole time frame from 12 to 2. Well, no shit. Thanks for the help. You know, I mean, like, come on, seriously. Like, we figured whatever happened between 12 and 2. That didn't really help with the timeline or the narrative, right? Like, so it was a huge, huge gaping time frame when this person could have seen it, especially in light of this video that we have where I'm sorry, I'm going to stand about 100% that this video is of Kiely's car going into that water and disappearing. And we see some weird behavior on shore before it happens. So, this has not changed Bullhorn Betty's mind, whether this is team foul play or team accident. Bullhorn Betty went from team accident to team foul play as soon as I heard she was in the hatch of the car. We finally got some information on this video as well. We got to see how long did that car, we can't see what level it sunk in that water, but we can definitely tell when it entered the water and when the lights went out in the vehicle, when the lights were no longer visible. We can tell that. And that's anywhere between a minute to a minute and 20 seconds, depending on, because this is an angle from 2 miles away. And we, from that angle, could actually think she's in the water when she's still on land. So I'm going to give it, anywhere between 60 seconds to 80 seconds from that time that car entered the water to the time the car was no longer visible on the surface and lights went out. About a minute to a minute and 20 seconds, not much time. However, that changes my perspective. Because, earlier on, I was thinking this car with the windows down, this water just coming in and pushing all the air out of the car. For that particular scenario, I thought that it was possible. I didn't think it was possible when I thought she had 30 seconds to get her, because she's a very tall girl, very tall and slender. So I didn't think she had enough time to get her lanky legs. I'm calling them lanky, not to be disparaging to her or anything, but just to give a graphic, a visualization, right? Long legs. So she's got these long legs that she's got to get out from, steering wheels. It's not easy. Like opening the door and getting out is one thing. Having a steering wheel in your car up in position and trying to get out of that with the steering wheel and everything right there, it's a little more difficult to just pull and go the opposite, go into the car instead of out of the door, right? So she's going to have some stumbling and some stuff going on there if she truly was driving. Now, people have came on here yesterday and said it could have been pure shock where she just saw all this water coming in. It's dark as blazes out there. She didn't see anything. She couldn't get out of the car, and she was going to the back because she thought there was an air pocket in there. With a minute and 20 seconds, I truly do believe if she was in the passenger seat, that she would have enough time to get from that passenger seat to the back hatch of her car. I believe she could have done that. If she was alive and the one operating that vehicle, yes, I do believe that she would have had enough time. But what doesn't make sense to me, and as I was explaining, the car didn't enter the water and then just drop to the bottom in a matter of 5 seconds. She still had 120 seconds or not 120 seconds, 60 seconds to 80 seconds to get out of that vehicle. That vehicle didn't just go straight to the windows when it went into the water. The water was filling up at the bottom of that, the seals down at the floorboard. Water would have been gushing in there and halfway up the doors. So your window would have still been clean and clear and open for at least 20 seconds to get yourself out of there. And I'm thinking if somebody's going to unstrap themselves from the driver's seat and go all the way to the back hatch, clearly while that car was still on the surface and the water hadn't gotten to the windows yet, would have been more inclined to go out that window. Either window. She had to pass 2. But again, people are talking about this shock factor. And I've been in shock before. Your mind just goes blank. It literally goes blank. I can't explain it. Oh, thank you, Mallory. I appreciate it, love. I can't explain it, but you just go blank. And I give a prime example of my shock. I was working, it was when I was married, and we were running a corporation, a company, a drywall company, and we put the dogs. We have this big, huge trailer. It's a dump trailer for when we did tree trimming. Because some trees are very big. You got to have a huge, heavy duty trailer to dump tree stuff. Okay, I can't explain it other than that, right? So, but this is rusty. It's old. It's just it's kind of a site. But we didn't do a whole lot of tree stuff. But we needed the trailer, so we're not going to buy a brand new trailer for something that we don't do very often. It's just a piece of equipment we need to have when we need to have it. Doesn't need to be pretty. Doesn't need to be fancy. Just needs to do the job. So this thing's ugly and it's rusty. It's okay. I'm fine with that. Well, what I didn't realize is when we put it in the backyards, dogs have a tendency. I did realize this. I just didn't think of it. I didn't think of it at the time. Kind of like, the law enforcement has handled this entire case. It's like they know that this stuff's out there. They're not thinking about it, right? They're dropping the ball. Well, Warren Betty dropped the ball. I put the trailer back there. I didn't think about all the rust underneath the trailer. Who the hell's getting under the trailer to look at it? Well, the dogs like to get under a pool, and they like to dig themselves little holes. So the dog went under the trailer, and she dug herself a hole. Well, she must have heard something. And it had to have happened earlier in the day. But she must have popped up. And it almost skinned her. It did skin her. It skinned her probably about 1 inch by about 5 inches. Like it was, I don't want to go into it. It was bad. But I had come home from work, and I was cooking dinner, and my ex-husband at the time, my husband, says, Layla's hair is standing up funny. So he went over there to kind of thought maybe she'd gotten into something sticky or something. Went over there to look at it. The hair was standing up funny. And he saw this gaping wound on her. And, I'm cooking dinner. Like, not a care in the world. And he's like, oh, my God. I'm like, just the way he said it. I mean, just the way he said it, even before I turn around, my heart is like literally in my throat. And I look at her, and I saw her bone, and I lost it. I went and grabbed the phone to call my friend, which, works for a vet. And I'm holding my phone there. And I'm pacing back. I don't even know I'm pacing back and forth. I'm literally pacing back and forth. My hands are shaking. I can't think about what I'm doing. I can't even think of the girl's name that I need to even call on my phone. I'm just holding it there, and I'm like, oh my God, 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 oh my God. Like, my dog is not even whimpering, not even whining. We didn't even know she was injured. It just happened to be a little piece of hair caught Vince's attention, and he went over there to look at it. And so I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I'm like, I don't even know. I'm looking at him like, I can't even dial the, who am I supposed to be calling right now? There's not even, I'm like freaking out. My dog's going to die. She's dead. Just help me, right? Freaked out, shock, couldn't think, but mind blank. Couldn't even think of what number to dial. Didn't even know whether to dial my mom's number. Didn't know whether to dial I completely blank. That's the only thing I can tell. And that was a very benign experience of shock. I can't imagine driving a vehicle into a lake and seeing water just pouring into the vehicle. But I know my experience was shock. And that's the most recent experience that I can provide. There was another experience I had when I was 14 and got into a bad wreck with my parents that almost killed my parents. I was in shock on that. But I was, I think, 12 or 14 at the time. I don't remember. I remember bits and pieces of that day, but I don't remember. But I was definitely in shock. But again, I think that's the point I'm trying to make. So could she have been in shock? Could she have been back there? I truly don't know. I don't know. But what I did find out through this interview, as this person is talking about this, is that, Megan, the one that's giving this interview and diving into this, it sounds like this Megan person, which we all have found out is a kid's parent, and the kid is friends with Sammy. That's my understanding. I don't even know if that's 100% accurate or not, but that's my understanding of who this Megan character is. But this Megan character, she's kind of on board with Team Foul Play. She believes that there's a cover-up. She said so much in this interview that she was providing. And that's why she was reaching out to this person. And she confirmed with this person, she will keep them confidential. We're not going to be reverse engineering, the audio or anything like that. I don't, I like to respect creators and respect the fact that they have to keep some things confidential, because if there's a touchy story out there and people feel like they have to come and show their face to say it, they may not, and they may hold that to them. It may never even get to law enforcement. Sometimes these are the things we need to do in order to get the story out there. And so I respect any creator that needs to keep their source confidential. And, for me to believe it, it has to be a legit creator. Okay. It can't be one of these off the wall creators I've never heard from that comes up with this mind blowing information. Does it happen? Of course it does. But it would be something that I would have to vet really well for myself before I ran with it, as opposed to somebody like Crime Stories Obsessed, Emma, Chronicles of Olivia. I know their work. I know how hard they work. I know their crap's legit. I shouldn't call it crap because it's really good content. But either way. But this Megan chick believes there's a cover up. So there are some people out there in the Truckee area that realize this stinks to high heaven. And if people in that community believe that, why is it so hard to believe that the people over here in the entertainment world of true crime wouldn't believe that? This doesn't make sense. Let's talk about, we're going to go through this interview. And there's a lot of stuff that I found in this interview that's very interesting to me. But let's talk about the law enforcement handling of this. It sounds to me like law enforcement, if they literally didn't know where Kiely's car was, they didn't want to know. That's the problem I'm having with this. Because it sounds like this person met with detectives, showed them what she saw. And then nobody calls her. And then they set up a search in that area, but only with the first 25 feet? What? Knowing the pitch and angle? Like, it doesn't take a rocket science to realize a car is going to roll even underwater. And there's a ledge that's right off that peninsula that goes straight down. So why would they only search 25 feet off that bank? It just doesn't make sense. I can understand if you're talking about Lake Michigan or something like that, but you're talking about this little inlet that wouldn't have been nothing to clear the entire bottom of that. Why would you limit it to 25 feet? Then we know Adventures with Purpose came in and, smacked that little booty of Placer County and Grand County Sheriff and saying, hey, idiots, she's right here. Without saying that. God bless them. Damn well, if it was Bullhorn Betty that found her out there, that's what I would have said. What do we got? Freaking idiots here? Doug Bishop's chill, right? Handled himself respectfully and professionally and everything like that. You wouldn't have gotten that out of Bullhorn Betty. I love you guys. Maybe that's why I offend people so much. So then Adventures with Purpose Finder, the whole excavation of that car from the bottom of the lake was just like, how much more incompetent and just laughable can one law enforcement agency be? Or, excuse me, a few. Let's not forget that California State's there, the FBI's there, Placer County and Nevada County, of many, of 16 other entities, right? So it's not even just, I can't even blame Placer County. I can't even just blame Nevada, right? Because it's a collaborative effort. What the hell are these people doing? 20,000 hours, my ass. Anyways, so the interview states, well, they already know so the interviewer, so they were asking, Megan was asking them about a bunch of stuff about the cover up. And then the interview states, well, and this was what kind of sparked me because you're going through this whole interview process. Listen to this. I wrote it down verbatim. It says, well, they already know I talked to one of the investigators. Who is they? Did you guys catch that? Who is they? They already know that I've talked to an investigator, almost like, because she's talking about keeping this person confidential and everything like that. And this person says, well, they already know I've already talked to the investigators. Who's they? Are these the people that are trying to cover up this case? And so this is also a lesson. Our audience is amazing. This is probably an audience member. I don't know if Megan has a channel or not. I highly doubt that Megan has a channel. This is probably almost an amateur interview, so to speak. And I can tell that because of the language that's being used. Because when we go out there, we want to be specific. We don't really use they for everything. Like they for law enforcement, they for the other people, they for the conspiracy theorists, they, So we'll say something like LE and we'll maybe identify those other people as the haters or something like that. But here in this kind of interview, you're kind of trying to piece together which they are talking about during this conversation, because there's several theys, right? So they knew that this person had already spoken to the investigators. I want to know who they are. And then when she's referring back and further into the interview, when they say they are actually referring to the investigators. So even this interview is kind of just a little jumbled a little bit. It's a little, it's still not clear. We can tell that this person believes that they saw a car go into the water. Not so much so that they actually picked up the phone and called 911, but so much so that when they realized the girl was missing, they had the recollection of this event that happened that night and did everything they could to make sure that the people that could help had the information. But it goes further to say that because when I went to the rec center, we were drinking, right? And I wasn't 100% sure I saw that car. Because we were drinking and we were on our business. What business were they on? They didn't clarify that. Like that, I'm curious about that. Were they talking about business of slinging dope out there at the party? Are they talking about business? Were they there for, was this person happened to be there with a few people from work on a business trip? What kind of business are they referring to here? So in one like turn, saw the car get super close to the water. And did anyone get out of the car? So Megan did ask good questions, because that's what we want to know, right? Did anybody get out of the car? And we see some shadowing. Is it something that we're putting there ourselves with our own brains and minds? Or were there a couple of shadows there? I don't know. But when she asked if did anyone get out of the car, she said, I don't know. We were on the other side. So even in this interview, they didn't put the map up. When she was going through the map, like, oh, so this is where Kiely's car went in. And so you were here. You heard that on the audio, but you didn't see it. So I'm curious as to what their distance was from where her car went in. So I still have a lot of questions with this interview. Still, like I said, this interview to me sounded authentic and truthful to me. I can't guarantee that because, the tow truck guy seemed very legit and truthful to me as well. But I always chalked it from the beginning of me hearing his story, have always chalked it up to I truly believe that was mistaken identity, because that was the one puzzle piece that did not fit with this case. But we're going to take a deep dive into that later tonight at 6 p.m. We're going to talk about the diversion. Was the tow truck guy a diversion? We hit on it earlier on when this case first started coming out. Same thumbnail and everything. I used the same exact thing for this one because it's been a while. Nothing's changed. Those two stories go together because we talked about the diversion related to this tow truck guy already once. But now that we have the video of her car going in, this interview of somebody actually seeing her car go in, now it's time to go back and check out that tow truck guy's statement again and find out, is he a diversion? I'm going to look into that. I have looked into that. It's going to be interesting what we come up with this afternoon. So I hope each and every one of you guys are there. Let's see. So she asks again, so you did see the car go in? And she goes on explaining that she really didn't see the car go in, but she saw the car really, really close to the water. They got super close. That's what I saw. So she keeps referring. That's what she saw. Everybody else is the one saying that she saw this car go in. She didn't see this car go in. The only thing this person that interviewed saw was a car. They could not confirm that it was Kiely's car. They could not confirm the make and model of the car. They cannot confirm whether anybody got out of the car. They cannot confirm whether anybody was in the car. All they saw was a vehicle, an unknown vehicle, close to the edge of that point between 12 and 2 a.m. That literally could be anyone, not necessarily Kiely. I just want to be clear. They got super close. Then one of their friends distracted me, and I turned my head. She was like, "Hey," so I turned, and then I was like, "What the f?" Then I was like, "What happened to the car?" But I didn't pay attention though. Did you call 911? The girl says no, or at least I'm assuming it's a girl. I keep saying they for this person because I don't know if it's a boy or girl. And I still don't. What does it say, you guys? You guys ask the right questions in Olivia's vid. Yeah, we try to really. You guys don't realize a lot of the hours. Olivia spends a lot of hours on these videos. She spends a lot of hours on researching these videos. I wish I could help her with a lot of that stuff, but she's very particular about the stuff she gets, and it's hers. And that's what she likes. So, I kind of just step back and let her do her thing because that's her creativity. Her creativity is much different than my creativity. I'm just thankful we have the same, ideas and ability to do things, especially together. I love working with her. So they didn't call 911 because she wasn't sure what she saw, is basically what it is. But when she talked to them, again, that them comes up. In this instance, she's referring to them as law enforcement. So I'm going to take them out and put law enforcement in its place so we're not confused. So when you talk to law enforcement, did they say they already checked that? And she says, no, they, i.e. law enforcement, didn't say anything. However, Ellie did say that somebody would be calling. However, nobody ever called her back. And here's another one that I marked that says, I showed the guy, I was like, look, yeah, I told them, L.E., I showed them, L.E., the clues. I told them what I saw. He was like, okay, do you think if someone goes and gets you tomorrow to show us exactly, Ellie, show us exactly where you were? And I said, F yeah, I'm happy to help. Now, she did say I'm happy to help, but she said, F yeah, sure. I was like, I can show you right now. I can show you exactly where I saw the car. And he said, he's like, we'll give you a call. Someone will probably call you. They never called. So this person goes on and says how I was pissed when I saw where they took the car out of, where I effing told them. It was right there. I was so mad. I straight up showed him the spot when they pulled out. I was like, F. Someone called 911 or someone called 911. We've heard that. We have not confirmed that. We have no evidence that anybody called 911 about headlights going into the water that night. We've heard it. We've never confirmed it. Was this person taken seriously enough by law enforcement? Did this person really want to find, this person really want them to find Kiely? It seems they do, and they did. It seems like a lot of people, and who it seems like keeps hindering this investigation? I can tell you it's not YouTubers. So far, the only people that I see hindering these investigations are the parents, the kids, and the cops. Just everybody involved in this case. But I can promise you, it's not the damn YouTubers. That I can promise you, right? We didn't do this. We weren't this shoddy, right? We hear about these things. We run with it. And we prove it or disprove it. We're not cocky and, kids. It's nothing. It's a nothing burger. We don't have the luxury of doing that. This is the true crime genre of YouTube. We review, and re-review. We pick apart, tear apart, right? Put back together. We even find our own damn narrative to drive with whatever we see, right? This is YouTube. This is not law enforcement, the benevolent service. Right? I don't know. Police benevolent service, right? We don't, but it's frustrating because we're watching this case. I have to tell you, this is like, I thought Summer Wells' case was like totally botched, right? Like you can't botch a case worse than the Summer Wells case. And then we come up with Kiely Rodni, and it's so blatantly botched, so blatantly, disgustingly botched from beginning to the freaking end. Botched. Nobody took anything seriously. It was a la-di-da. It was kumbaya and peace pipes around the freaking community. Nobody gives a damn about this little girl. Law enforcement doesn't care. Mom doesn't even. Mom's too busy trying to be friends with all her friends. It's funny. I don't know. I haven't offended you yet. Sit around. I'm sure I'll get to you soon. So anyways, I'm going to open this up. I'm curious. We're at a one hour mark. I did my stuff. I got my hour in. It's time for you guys to get your hour in. So come on up on panel. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me what you think about we see the turn. We see the light. We see the car going in the water. Why law enforcement didn't pull these cameras. Why they left it. We're going to do another score. Remember my score? This was only 2-0 law enforcement, right? Remember that? I wonder what the score is now. Because to me, so far, YouTube needs to go into the business of helping law enforcement agents out because they clearly can't function by themselves. Maybe they need to come and get some training from some web sleuths to help with them with their research, stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying this case, we could have removed law enforcement because YouTube's doing a hell of a lot better job than they are at this moment, from my perspective. I'm sorry. And I hate saying that. You guys know how much I hate saying that. If anybody knows me. They know I hate saying anything negative about law enforcement. I think law enforcement gets a bad rap as is. I think they're wholly treated unfairly. They're human beings that make mistakes just like the rest of us. And they're under some of the most severe conditions that we have no earthly idea about out there when they're doing their work. So for me, I don't like coming down on law enforcement. I don't like pointing out their glaring defects in the public eye. I don't like doing it, but we're in true crime. And if the shoe fits, I can't avoid it. Like I would love to tell you guys something completely different. I'd like to say they did a great job. The information just fell short. That would be so much nicer than they completely screwed this job up. They didn't find her. YouTube found her. They didn't find her laptop. YouTube found her. They didn't find the freaking camera that showed when she went into the water. YouTube found that. Come on. How much worse can 16 law enforcement agencies get? And then what really just burns my grits. This is what burns my grits the most. Is we had Grand County Sheriff tell News Nation that they were going to come out with a statement to the public. And then they sandbag us. They ghost us. I don't care. Like, I want to know about Kiely's case. I would love to know about it, but I'll be patient with Kiely's case. But damn it, law enforcement, you need to come forward and tell us how you guys explain yourself on how you F this whole entire case up and what you're doing to make sure that the integrity of this case is intact. The public is due that. I don't need you to tell me who's responsible. I don't need you to tell me whether this is a criminal investigation or an accident investigation, but I do want you to come up to that lectern and explain yourself and your conduct in this investigation. That's what I'd like. And I think we deserve that. So I'm kind of a little hot under the collar that, law enforcement refuses, after telling the public, they've already told us that they were going to come out with a press conference that next week, which came and went. I mean, hell, I've already went through a hurricane. Half of Florida's already put back together, and we still haven't heard from Grand County Sheriff. I'm starting to get that pit, that thing in the pit of my stomach, because we know that we're on the list. The Bullhorn Betty channel is on the list. We are going to be getting that coroner's report as soon as it's released. It's going out by email. I'm on that list, as well as many other creators, right? But I had this funny feeling deep in my gut that they're going to say, oh, there was a delay. We can't release it to you on November 1st. Who bets? Taking bets. We are a gambling group of people today. But I absolutely, without a doubt, believe we are going to be having to fool around with Grand County Sheriff in this coroner's report. I have a funny feeling Bullhorn Betty is going to have to make a second trip to California to put my boot up Grand County Sheriff's butt and tell them, get it together. So I don't know what we're going to be expecting coming up, but I am going to go ahead and post the chats. I'll post the link in here. I'm curious about you guys. To be honest with you, I don't like none of this. But the focus of this particular segment is on this last 48-hour information. I want to know what you think about the camera. I mean, we know that this is legit. Guys, they took these cameras offline. These cameras are done right now. This was legit information. This is, again, where law enforcement yet again dropped the ball and YouTube pulled one home, right? The whole system shut down. Why? Because YouTube found it. YouTube found it. Not law enforcement. It's in there. I'm sitting here in Florida. Okay. Emma, Crime Stories Obsessed, is over in the UK. Am I right? England, UK. I think she's UK. And she's finding out information way over there that law enforcement can't find out. What? Truth is stranger than fiction, folks. All right, well, here you guys go. Come on up. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me your opinions. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm getting to the point. I have to be honest. I am getting to the point where I'm frustrated with this case. I am up to my eyeballs in the total incompetence. And people from out the gate were saying that this is corrupt, that there's something going on behind the scenes. And we even have Megan, the person that interviewed this person that saw the car go in the water, or thought she saw the car go in the water. She's from that area, it sounds like. Hey, May, I'm gonna pull you up.
Okay.
Hey, love.
Hey.
What do you think?
Let me know. Hey, how are ya?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful.
Good. It's nice out here in Iowa today. Little breezy, so let me know if it gets a little too windy or whatever. But
right now we hear you very, very, very well. What do you think about? Well, we watched the video, and I think you were on here yesterday talking about the video that we had. So even with this video and whatnot, what do you think about this whole interview of a woman going to law enforcement, or a man or woman, just a person, a person potentially going to law enforcement and telling them, hey, I think I saw this car go in the water. And nothing happened.
That's what I'm saying. And then the video comes out. It's like, so I don't know about, what I want to know is how many people think, and this is not trust me, I hate politics, but I'm just thinking, if we remember, I don't know, you guys tell me and let me know. And if anybody's around there in Truckee, like, remember the whole defund the police thing? Like, what I'm thinking is just, I've thought from the very beginning, my gut told me it was incompetence, right?
Yeah,
when the AWP found that shit,
and they were the defund police voice for the USA
Capitol. So, okay. So thank you for that info. So that's what I'm saying. So I'm wondering if they just, it's the ripple effect and shit. Like, or else, there's other factors, but just incompetence is what I think it is. And somebody's got to be at fault for that. And I don't think it's okay. I'm sorry. I mean, I partied a lot when I was young. In fact, I have a stepfather who is a police officer. I thought that would help me out. Never did, because he's an honest one, kind of. He's
He's like probably my
cocky and
parents,
everything.
right up there to that jail and that turn you in. We get no free passes with my parents.
Shit, right? So, yeah, so where was I going with this? I don't know. They need more help. And like you were saying, like YouTube is actually helping. I think we're onto something.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
We're
honestly,
just
just for the piece of humanity, America. Okay, fine. If you want to defund the police, that's fine. But don't bitch at us for trying to help. Because hello, we're doing it for free.
Yeah, I mean, we get
It's
a small budget of YouTube AdSense and when maybe a gracious donor here and there on Cash App and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, we don't get a paycheck from the government.
It's crazy. So yeah, so I'm just wondering, how many people are actually like okay with like signing up to be a cop? I'm not.
Yeah.
No.
There was a lot of people that retired over the last 4 years because
exactly. But we need it.
Yeah.
We need it because they're incompetent. I mean, we can't count on Doug, Jared, and Nick to train the whole freaking United States. Come on.
No. Yeah.
So it's a big mess. But I mean, if we could actually civilly organize a helping system, right? Like, that's the only way I see it working.
This is what I would like. I would like law enforcement, one, to acknowledge the benefit we provide. Not all of us are categorized the same way. Like I'm not nowhere near, say, somebody like EquiSearch or Adventures with Purpose. But I do my part with what I'm able to do with. And, the bottom line is that we do benefit law enforcement. We have benefited law enforcement. We continue to prove year over year over year that YouTube does help with cases. Does sometimes YouTubers overstep? Yes. Has Bullhorn Betty overstepped? Yes. Comes with the territory, but at least I own it and I don't care. I mean, I'm here to tell a story and to help. But this whole idea that law enforcement, they ask for help until they get the help. And then when it becomes overwhelming, they don't want it. And it's like, you don't get to pick and choose the help you get. When you ask for help, you get the help.
Wow. Well, that's my 2 pennies.
Yeah. All right, Love Bug. Well, I'm going to get to the people in the back chat.
I mean, I'll stay up. I'll stay up if somebody else wants to come up too. Or do you just do one at a time? I
usually do one at a time so everybody I can put you in the back chat just for a little bit and pull you back up. But I like to give one individual time to the people that come up. So and also make
that's good. But I mean, did we cover it? Like, I mean, the whole thing is they were completely incompetent and corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we know it's both.
Mm-hmm.
It's both.
Yeah, the small town stuff with that kind of money in that small town. I mean,
what are we going to do with that?
A lot of I help you, you help me type of situation.
Oh, can I ask you a question? Because I took like 2 days off or something. But so how does SF Investigate connect with the video? Like, how come everybody's like,
I don't know if he was the whistleblower on the video or somebody reached out to him and said, hey, you may want to check this out. But with it coming out now as opposed to early on, it sounds like somebody caught wind of something and leaked it. And I don't know if that was government leak or if it was a person that just knew.
Okay. So if it was somebody reached out to him, don't you think that's sus? Like usual with him.
Everything in this case is sus.
And with him. So does he even still post? Like, I'm not on Twitter, so I don't see anything. What is he saying lately?
I got pissed off at him, right after he went on Baby Gap and completely just embarrassed himself. I unfollowed him on Twitter, and I didn't realize that, he had done so much damage. He realized it and locked his own Twitter page down. So when I exited out and stopped following him, I could no longer follow him. So I don't know what he's doing unless people send it to me.
Yeah. Well, I want to know if anybody knows. So put it in the chat. Okay, I'll let you go.
I find out, I will be posting it. I'll post something about it.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait for Turtle Island tonight.
Oh, that reminds me. I got a couple things to say about Turtle Island. Hold on.
All right.
I want to give a big shout out, but I also wanted to clarify some things here too. So I love Turtle Island. I think it was an amazing idea. I think it took our minds off of the true crime and gave us something to laugh at and, have fun with and everything like that. We're down to the wire. I think we're down to like 1 or 2 or 3 more Turtle Islands left. Bullhorn Betty this week has immunity. Bullhorn Betty's not going home tonight. Okay? That doesn't mean I am clear. Okay? That just means that I'm not going home tonight. So we're good tonight, but I wanted to give a shout out to the Jimmy lady for saving Bullhorn Betty this week. However, there was a lot of stuff that went on last Turtle Island, and I just want to give a big, warm shout out to my girl, House of Williams. I just want to tell her I think she's beautiful, and I love her, and keep doing you. Many of you guys know I do not pay for super chats or super stickers, right? I don't feel like that's the best utilization of the funds that you guys entrust me with. However, I did pay a super chat to save House of Williams last week because I love her, and I'm really sorry that she was, there are people in this world, you're just not going to change everybody. And I love everybody. I'm a liberty person. So even people that can do, or say things that offend people doesn't mean I'm not going to like them or do that. I mean, Mallory said some things that have offended people in the past, and Jimmy lady kind of went a little, but that you can't change everybody. But I pray for everybody. So I pray for all the people, but I did want to say thank you to the Jimmy lady for saving Bullhorn Betty. And I also wanted to give a big warm shout out to House of Williams. So just, I hope this week we keep it, back to the fun and, not so, that's what we're trying to get away from. That's the whole purpose of Turtle Island, is to get away from that, and just have fun.
I know. It's brilliant, wasn't it? Who even came up with it?
The Turtle King himself.
Did he? Wow.
That's what we're here.
Sweet. Okay, love you. See you later.
All right, love you too, May. All right, Kelly, you're up. Hello, Kelly. How are you?
Hi, Betty. Can you hear me?
I can.
Hi. So listen, I was watching this video and I saw the car going into the water. My husband, he's an airplane mechanic. He has a different brain than I do. Mm-hmm. And he says that car turned towards the right, went behind the trees, and you can see the headlights shining. It shuts off its lights and meets that other car at the intersection. And if you look at around 12:36, you can see that truck reflecting off the car there that met them at the intersection. And it looks like people get out there. And I don't know if there's an altercation. It looks like people are walking down from the sanctuary with flashlights about that time. And I think it's worth a look to see if she really went into the water or if she did come back up right then, mm-hmm. if it even was her.
Kelly, I've got to be honest with you. I do have to be honest with you. When I first saw that video the very first time, I saw a clear pause. even with it in 2-speed, because everybody up until Chronicles of Olivia had done it in double speed versus real time. She did hers in real time, but even that double speed, I saw that significant pause before, and I didn't even realize it had done like a little circle, and then went in the water. And I did see a significant pause, and I'm like, that's significant. That's somebody getting in or out of that vehicle.
Yes. And what was it? Whenever they were turning back towards the right there, I'm trying to remember. Oh, when they were coming down from the sanctuary. And if you keep watching those two cars that are at the intersection, the one with the lights off, that could be her car, they end up moving, and one car goes one direction and the other goes the other way out. So I don't know.
And then
I wish I could pull it up right now and show you.
And then actually we see, let me pull this back up, and if you watch your TV, maybe you'll be able to see this. Also, right at the end of this, is it this one? No, it's not. It's the 12-minute one. We'll only pull the 12-minute one up. But right at the end of that, there is a car that starts leaving and heading toward that location. And it's about right there.
Yes. What time does that say? 12?
That is 12:36. Which again, this is the thing with that freaking time Sammy said. The 12:36 time, and it makes me wonder, is that when she was picked up and she looked at her phone and said, I'll just let people know that I called her at this time and she was fine.
And that's where I'm seeing the headlights shining on that other vehicle, and they start, if it plays, it looks like people get out right there. And I'm wondering if an altercation didn't take place right there. And you'll see a flashlight come down from the upper left, and I'm guessing that's where the sanctuary would be. And it's like people are starting to walk down.
And you can clearly see the car going right there at 12:36, 12:37, leaving that big pack of lights and heading toward where she just went in, just not even 120 seconds earlier.
Right. So I guess I'm just saying, I don't think that we should say that this is definitive, because maybe that's what they want us to believe. But I really think that's her car at the intersection.
Oh yeah. And then it still comes, people are saying, okay, well, now we know, and the people that were team accident is like, oh, this is still team accident. No, what I just saw is not team accident whatsoever. What I just saw looks still more suspicious than what I originally thought.
Because we know engines sink when they go into the water. That's the first thing to go in. Your headlights are going to go under. And like my husband said, your headlights don't go off just because you go in the water, because it's like an AC/DC system, or I forgot what he said.
Yeah.
He got with me.
Well, we've seen, think about it. I'm from Florida. We get flooded. I don't know how many times I've seen cars underwater and you could clearly see their headlights on.
Yes. Yep. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents I wanted to put in, and maybe have another look. And, like I said, I didn't see it at first. It took him many times yelling at me like, how do you not see it? And he finally showed me, and I was like, oh wait, you're right. So anyway.
But something definitely happened. We don't know what, but and I'm telling you, somebody sent me some pretty close-ups, and you can see shadows, but you can't define those shadows. But I bet my bottom dollar, I bet my last dollar that's people.
Yes. And her windows being down. If the windows were down when she first went in, she still could have got out, in my opinion. I had a friend, her son and some kids, some girls, they were driving, and they took a wrong turn and went straight into the lake here where we live. And they had to be going at least 55 miles per hour. He was passed out drunk in the back. Those girls kicked the door open because the windows were up, and were able to escape and drag him out. So her windows being down.
Your body, when you're under extreme stress, I mean, we've seen it before where a human person, because of adrenaline, has been able to lift up a car from somebody. That's pure adrenaline. People are talking about the shock thing, but nobody's taking into consideration that, or maybe there are a lot of people taking into consideration this, but at the end of the day, this does not say this is team accident, because we still believe that Kiely was entirely too intoxicated to drive. And I just don't see her passing 2 windows to climb to the back hatch of a car that's sinking. I just don't, even in shock, I just don't see myself making that illogical, passing
Right.
2 windows. Like you would think your first thought would be, you got to get out of the dead weight. You have to get out of the dead weight.
Yes.
But again, I've been through shock and my brain shut slap off.
Yes, I know. But hopefully, I mean, I don't know. I just don't think it happened that night. But and that's all I really have to say.
Well, I
So-
love speaking with you, Kelly. So anytime you have perspective, come on up here. It's nice to hear, because I know if you have that perspective, somebody else in my audience has it.
Yeah. Well, I'm new to this true crime thing, and I've latched on to you and to Zav Girl and Dolly. I think y'all are great. Y'all are doing a great
Yeah.
job.
I actually would like to meet Sav Girl and chat with her. She's a nice gal. Some of the stuff, we kind of tip back and forth. She's never said anything negative about me. I think she does really great work. I love seeing her work. I just can't watch her for 8 hours. That's all.
Right. I usually put her on when I go to bed, so if I fall asleep,
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate it, Kelly. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, Ruby.
Hey, Andra, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. Much better today.
Good. Well, okay, so, I am with you about your frustrations about the police corruption and cover up and whatnot. And, I've told you that the way I came into true crime was in the late 80s when several friends of mine were murdered, and there was cover up from the local police all the way up to the governor's office, the White House, the CIA, you name it. And so I became more or less an advocate for injustice, seeing injustice in a case. And that's what I refer to myself as an injustice activist. And then I became involved in advocating for other cases here in Arkansas where I was seeing cover up and injustice. So, I completely understand and would be standing right there with you, demanding answers from these police officers and feds, and I don't care who it is.
Somebody just needs to come up and tell us what the heck's going on here, because
exactly
from an outside looking in, this does not paint law enforcement in a good light. It just doesn't. And then when you come out to the public and say that they're going to give us a press conference and then just never do, that even it's almost insulting.
It isn't. It is. And then they want to cover up their mistakes, like they did in the Brian Laundrie situation, where, oh, well, we can't, by law, we can't do this, or by law, we can't do that, blah, blah, blah. And I call it hiding behind the law, which is bullshit. And you know that.
Yeah.
They could have kept a better eye on him. There is no reason why they couldn't have followed him, and things might have come out differently in that case. But I have seen that problem time and time again, where they want to say, oh, well, we can't do this, and by law we can't do that, and we can't just go arrest him because you think he's guilty,
But do you know why they dropped the ball? Do you know why they dropped the ball on Brian Laundrie? This is why. Because their policies and procedures dictate that they have to have XYZ officers at XYZ entrances and XYZ positions when having a suspect or person of interest under surveillance. And because they didn't have the manpower to position those people in accordance with their protocol, they just chose not to even put one person out there because their protocol required XYZ people. And I'm just like, what? So because you didn't have 6 people, you didn't even put 1. Great.
But they put cameras up at the neighbor's house and then didn't even check them.
Yeah, it was the most insane explanation I had ever
Yeah,
heard about in my life.
It's
Like, that's
and it's insulting, and it's, you know, and it's just,
yeah, but I never heard that. Like, you come out and tell the public basically, well, we didn't have the 6 cops needed in accordance with our policies and procedures, so we didn't even bother doing it at all. We didn't just put 1 or 2. We, you know, I'm thinking I'm the kind of person that would be like, okay, well, we don't have 6, but we have 2. Let's utilize the 2 we have the best way we can. Let's position them here and here. Something.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree, but you know, we've got to make these officers, you know, do better and answer, you know, and answer for what they do. And you know, this video, and I want to tell people who question the validity of this video, Olivia did go to the site and get the video direct from the site.
Mm-hmm.
And she did her work with the original raw video from the camera.
Correct.
And while I wouldn't trust a damn thing coming out of SF's mouth, I do trust Olivia.
That's why we like to do our stuff ourselves. And
I do trust her work. She has no reason to lie. She has no reason to, you know, try to defy the public or make something look like something that it's not, or
right.
You know, or anything like that. She is authentic. She is passionate about her work. And so, you know, I wanted to ask, has anyone watched Olivia's video on a big screen TV? Because I'm wanting to go to my daughter's and actually watch it on her big screen TV.
Yeah. So what, Green Eyes, what do you mean? This video is 100% speculation. Which video are you referring to? Curious. Hope you're having a wonderful. Oh, thank you, Sharianne. Yeah, having a great day, as a matter of fact. Having a great day. We're going to be doing, and just to let you guys know, for those that are just tuning in, we have 655 people in the chat right now. If you guys can go out and make sure you give this video a thumbs up, I'd greatly appreciate it. We are discussing right now the video that has surfaced about her car going into the water and the time that it went into the water. We discussed that yesterday, but now we're incorporating the interview that was given by a Megan to somebody that actually believed they may have saw the car go into the water. And basically law enforcement didn't take them seriously, although they did speak to detectives. They didn't call 911 when it happened, but when they realized she was missing and they remember seeing that car that close to the edge, they did reach out to law enforcement. And it appears in all practicality, law enforcement didn't take their story seriously, because had they done
that is another problem too, Andrea. That is another problem I see a lot.
Yeah. So we've got today, we're doing this live here this afternoon. Tonight at 6 p.m., we're going to be talking about the diversion. Was the tow truck guy the diversion? I don't know. But now that we know this information, like we talked about this potential of him being a diversion early on when he first came out, when Adventures with Purpose dropped their video. He was one of the first things I talked about literally the day the video dropped, and it was the tow truck guy. And now that this has all come full circle, and we have this interview from Megan with this anonymous source, and then this video that come out that has more questions than answers, you know, we're going to be looking at this and diving in a little closer. So I hope you guys, if you're here with me right now, that you do come back around 6 p.m. so we can dive into the tow truck guy and whether or not he was a diversion in this case, because you know, I thought he was authentic. I thought he was being truthful. Is he being truthful? Was he being deceptive? I'd like to open up the panel and have that discussion. Tomorrow morning, it's going to be Sunday morning live. We're going to do a regular live here right about 8:30 in the morning. And then you guys will not see me the rest of the day. Monday, we'll do our normal coffee club. And then we're going to do our evening 6 p.m. members only live to discuss cases with the members. That's going to be Monday evening at 6 p.m. So if you guys would like to, if any of this sparks your curiosity or you'd like to come back, please make sure that you do. Anyways, so thank you for giving me my time to plug myself. So, anyways, and Ruby, tell us a little bit about you have a true crime podcast as well. Tell us a little bit about you.
Yes, I do. I started on Spotify, and you know, I've participated in radio and blog talk radio and stuff for years, and for other people, and I wanted to do something on my own and do something that, you know, I was passionate about. And so I was, you know, inspired by Gabby to start doing my own true crime podcast. And then I moved over to YouTube, and I like to cover, you know, trials, and I like to cover old cases and new cases, because, you know, there's still several cases that I've been following for 25 and 30 years that are still going on, that there's still things happening in these cases. So I like to do that. I have talked about the ones that I've been in, you know, been directly involved in and things like that. You know, I've discussed Summer and done a little bit of Kiely and Harmony Montgomery, and, you know, and the other kids and stuff that are missing, but I try to do things a little different, you know, and cover some cases that, you know, not everybody else is covering. I did an update yesterday on Trinity Case, who was a 17-year-old girl that was kidnapped back in April in Hot Springs, Arkansas. And one of the defendants in her case decided to change their plea to guilty. And so.
Gotcha. Well, when you get out of here, plug your channel into the chat. So if people would like to sub up to you, they can.
Okay, yeah. It's the Ruby Pearl Glamper True Crime Podcast.
And I will tell you, that is a mouthful, by the way.
To give everybody the little Reader's Digest version of where that comes from, I sold my house in 2017, and I wanted to buy a vintage camper and redo it. That's what a glamper is.
Gotcha.
That's what is referred to as a glamper. So I bought a 1979 Dodge Eldorado Class C RV, and I redid it. And basically, and people can laugh if they want to, but basically it depicts me at 9 years old, which in 1979, I was 9 years old.
I don't mean to be rude, but I got another person in the back chat. So yeah. If we can.
Well, like I said, if you know, if people are interested and want to come, you know, listen to my podcast, I do lives. I love for people to come participate in the chats and stuff. And you know, if you just want to hear about other cases, or, you know, just talk about different things, I'm in limbo right now with everyone in jail awaiting trials on a bunch of cases that I'm covering. So
gotcha. All right, well, you have a great day.
Okay, you too. Really enjoy it as always.
Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Mama Bullhorn, what's shaking bacon?
Hey, baby.
Miss me yet?
It's about time you come across the river. We do have traffic lights now.
We do. Okay, well, that's good.
No, I have to share something with you, and it's not a childhood story.
Oh, good, because I'm sick of you telling all my secrets.
I watched the first time I watched this on our big 60-inch TV watching it with Michelle After Dark.
Mhm.
And she had Google Maps up. She had a split screen. So she tilted Google Maps until it matched the camera view.
Mhm.
And she was using the camera view during the time that you could still do it live.
Mhm.
And that was yesterday morning about 7:30, 8 o'clock. And I am telling you, sweetheart, you know how sensitive I am to
Mhm.
people and death.
Yeah.
I carry them with me for a long time.
Right.
I was so down. I was so depressed. I had this I almost cried 3 times yesterday cuz I had this heaviness over me.
Yeah.
And that's when I called in yesterday and said, "Look at the other lights,"
Mhm.
because I saw it on the big screen.
Yeah. And
There
that's probably what we need to do. You know, I got the 70-inch here. For me not to put it up on the 70-inch is yeah, maybe I need to go do that.
Yeah.
My clicker is not working because I lost one of my controllers and I moved the other controller over to another
Well, do
fire
the
stick, and now it won't
one
make
in
sure
your
it back.
spare bedroom. That'll be
Yeah,
better. But
I need to do something.
I'm telling you, honey, there's something going on there. And it could be some people are saying they saw the car turn around backwards. Well, that could explain it being flipped over.
Yeah, and that's what I said yesterday is that, you know, we had to do it 2 different ways to get that car in the position that it was in underwater, flipped up and in the direction it was. And there was one of 2 ways. If it came in frontwards where the engine was going into the lake,
Mm-hmm.
it would have had to go there, nosedive, and twist to
Right.
land the way it did.
No, I
However,
think it went in backwards
if
very
it went in
fast
backwards,
and flipped over.
it would have flipped over and did the nose down and
Yeah,
over, you know, end over
exactly.
end versus side over side.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
those lights, the lights up the beach, are what really upset me because they come to a complete stop and they just sit there. And it looks like it's more than one light. Now, it could be flashlights, Q beams. I have no idea.
Guys, I do think this went in backwards. Hold on. Let me pull you. You're still up. They can still hear you, Mom. But
What?
look at this. Look at this. I want to show you guys this. I'm doing this as she's saying it, you know, just trying to figure it out. But look at this right there. Look where the lights are. The lights are pointed this way. Look at this. Watch the screen, guys. I want you to pay attention over in this area here. This area here. I want you to watch. So we got it? Look. Look. Right there. That to me looks like she's backwards. Look at the light. Look at the lights all over here.
Yeah, exactly.
It's possible that this went in backwards. You know, I didn't think of it like that until you said something. It just sparked my curiosity. Where are these lights hitting? Look at this. You can see the lights right there. Boop, boop.
Yep,
boop,
yep,
boop,
yep.
boop, boop,
Thank
boop,
you.
boop,
Thank
boop.
you. I'm not going
How are
crazy.
the lights way over here?
I thought I was going crazy because the first time before Olivia cleaned it up, I know you had a lot of artifacts on the screen from the park cameras, which I think are bugs, you know, bugs going across the camera. But
Right there.
yes, thank you.
Right there.
Thank
How
you.
are her lights shining over here and she's at the peninsula going into the water?
Thank you.
Guys, this might be something, folks. This truly might be
You have
something.
to look at it on the big screen and
Look at this. Look at that right there. All over here.
yep. I thought I was going crazy.
Guys, I think this car was backed in.
So this old gal
Look
is
at that. You can see the headlights. Look across the street. Look at that.
Thank you. All righty then. But
Holy
look,
crap. Thanks,
look
Mom.
at
That
the car.
was interesting.
Look at
Tennessee
the
sweetheart,
cars.
thank you so much for becoming our newest member. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for the love and support.
Look at the cars up the beach, like I showed you yesterday. It looks like 2 cars or someone with Q beams.
Yeah.
And
That right there, I didn't even see that, but you can clearly look at this.
thank you.
Now, unless it's something else, but I'm telling you, I see shadowing on those trees across the
Trees.
street.
Yes. Thank you.
Right there, primarily.
Yeah.
In.
Yeah. The headlights.
Right over here.
I swear to God, somebody pushed her in or either drove her in and got out. Because that would explain they had time before it flipped to break that window and get out.
Yeah. But there she is. And I clearly see the headlights almost this way.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you,
Well,
Mom.
put it
Appreciate
on the big, but I'm not kidding you. I carried this on my heart all day long. I was so, I don't know how to explain it. Heavy. So heavy, it almost made me cry. It was like I was carrying something on my shoulders and I couldn't shake it.
Mm-hmm.
And it almost made me sick.
Well,
And
yeah. This whole case has been a little crazy for me. It really has. It's been sad, mostly sad, because you don't want to think horrible people can do horrible things to their friends or even a perfect stranger. You just don't want to think of that. But this, I'm sorry. Her whole going into the water never convinced me that this was an accident. And now I'm seeing those lights on the other side, which it's like every time we watch this, and I tell the audience this all the time, when you watch these things, it's not good just to watch them once. You got to go back and watch them. I think about Cher's interview with Don Wells, how much information I was able to get out of one interview. And I bet you right now, if I go back and listen to that interview a 13th or 14th or 15th time, I'm going to get even more out of it. Every time I watch this video, I get a little more detail, a little more clarity, a little more information from this one small segment of this video.
okay, I have one more thing. I sent it to you in a text and email. If you go on the City of Truckee, they have a tab called the Truckee Way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like a mantra for a cult. And it's the Truckee Way of Truckee, California. It's bizarre. It's bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to read it before your show at 6:00.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'm happy to read it. Not a problem. Not a problem. So how you doing today, Mom?
Oh, I still have a 4-year-old running around.
Bring him over to Auntie's house. I'll fill him up with sugar and send him home.
I don't need that. Thank you.
Oh, but I love noisy toys too. I love giving little 4-year-olds gifts, especially ones that make a lot of noise. Especially when they're going back to my mom's house.
Well, we've been riding tractors and bicycles, so and he picks up leaves and flowers and wants to keep them, and they're dirty, and it's like marbles.
Mom, you don't have. This is a little boy now, Ma. You're gonna have to get used to it.
He's gotten all the marbles out of my bird bath. He's gotten never.
See,
mind.
Mom's kind of used to. Many people don't realize that Bullhorn Betty is actually a horrible tomboy. Horrible tomboy. So Mom's already been versed on lizards and frogs and snakes and critters coming into the house and monster trucks and stuff like that. I helped you with William without you even knowing.
Oh, I don't mind it at all because I'm cherishing every minute of it.
Remember the first time I brought a snake in the house?
God, no, let's not go there. That's a story for another time. I know, because
you about had a heart attack. You were ready to whip my ass, but were too terrified to come near me because I had a snake in my.
I hate snakes, and I've got 2 snake stories for you, but I'll tell those on another night. But anyways, read that. It's called the Truckee Way. And it's almost like I read it and then I read it again, and it's part of their doctrination for the city of Truckee.
Mm.
And it's on
I
their
love it,
portal.
and that's it. Indoctrination, you know.
And that explains why the cops don't question that the kids were allowed to have their meetings unsupervised. It explains everything.
Well, they did this poor girl a disservice. You know, they did her a disservice. I haven't seen them do one thing really right in this case. I mean, of course, we didn't see everything they did, but the stuff that we did see them do was done very poorly.
Yes. And I'm not going to go there into the politics, but it
Yeah.
is California we're talking about.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry if I stepped on some people's feelings.
Yeah. I think no matter what side of the aisle people are on,
We have
they're not
Grady
blind to
Judd.
what's going on. You
We
know,
have Grady Judd in our area, and
Yeah.
it's shoot first, ask questions
Questions
later.
I know.
I
I love
love
Grady
you.
Judd. He's like, you bring a gun, we're going to shoot you, and we're going to shoot you a lot. You don't play with Grady Judd. You just don't, because you will be shot at, and you will be shot at a lot.
But I have a very dear friend I lost last August. Her name was Jeannie Robertson. And her philosophy was try to find humor in something every day of your life. And I try to stick to that. So when I come on your show, I try to put the humor into very serious, sad stuff. And I hope I succeed. So I love you,
I
baby.
know you will. If you gave birth to this wonderful, crazy lady called Bullhorn Betty, I'm pretty sure you got what it takes.
Oh, let's not go there.
All right, Mom, you go have yourself an amazing day. I will be here only one time tomorrow, just one.
Okay.
And it'll be in the morning, but we have two. So I hope you're here this afternoon for 6 o'clock. So I'm waiting for your perspective on what you think about the tow truck guy now. But we're not going to get into it. Hold your comments.
No. You know what I said from the get-go. But I'm not going to say anything now.
All right. We'll come back at 6 and you can let us have it.
All right. Love you.
All right. Love you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. A big shout out to Mama Bullhorn. Thank you for your presence. May is asking, hey, BHB, why did the chicken cross the road? Because he was suicidal. That's why he crossed the road. For all those people that don't understand why the chicken crossed the road because it had emotional damage and needed Prozac, you know? And he didn't have Prozac. So he's like, okay, which car's coming? Let me just throw myself in front of it. And there you go. Now you got the chicken never crossed the road because he got hit by a car. I don't know why the chicken crossed the road. I have no idea. What does it say? Kylie wanted out of Truckee. Kylie wanted out of Truckee and not this way. She worked hard for her place in this world and they took it. Yeah. Yeah. Many people that don't know Kylie's background, this is an amazingly talented young lady, you know. Her abilities, you know, even though she's not into, video editing, let's put her on like a Chronicles of Olivia. You know, Chronicles of Olivia is very, very, very talented. And just you guys have no earth, like the production of these videos is just one small level of Olivia, right? Kind of like Kiely Rodni. She was very talented, multiple instruments. Like I play a violin. I haven't played a violin in literally, I don't know, 20 years. I picked up a violin and tried to play it. Oh my God. Like I used to be second chair. And I tell you what, I can't carry a tune in a bucket. I forget how to tune my damn violin. Played it for years. It's not like riding a bike. You don't just jump on it and start spinning and you're going again, right? It sounded horrible. It was awful. But this girl's very talented. Multiple instruments, beautiful voice, and just incredibly smart. Guys, this is a 16-year-old child that graduated school 2 years early and was heading to medical school at 16. Doogie Howser almost rings a bell with me here. right? So this poor girl was just utterly, just amazingly talented. I'm sure that everybody in Truckee probably idolized this girl. She was probably the one that had it, that it factor that many of us really, really try to have in our everyday life is the it factor. This girl, this young, beautiful, talented girl had that it factor, and it was snuffed away from making. Just think of how much her life would be so different right now if she would have just went to the car show. Right? Think about that. We make decisions each and every day for ourselves. That could literally be the decision that wipes us off the face of the earth. It is that Bullhorn Betty choosing to stay home when a Category 4 hurricane was barreling into this community was a decision I chose to make that could have lost me my life. And we don't realize, getting in the car, making the conscious effort to go to work can literally end with you losing your life. It's decisions we make that we don't intend to make that have such grave consequences for us. And this is what happened to Kiely Rodni. She had other places to go. She was not supposed to be at this party, but she was there and she never left. That's the reality of this. Everything else is confusing. It's convoluted. It's diluted, right? It's watered down. But something happened to this girl. And what we're seeing on that bank line is something's going on there, in my opinion. This is not Kiely Rodni being drunk behind a car, making a wrong turn and running into water. That's not what we're seeing here. We're seeing a significant pause on the bank. We're seeing her car lights angled in different directions as if she's doing a 360 up on that bank. We don't know if this car went in frontwards or backwards with the imaging that we have right now. But I am clearly seeing some lighting on the trees where there should not be lighting on the trees that are coming, it appears, from that very car. Could it be? I don't know. We're looking at this image from 1 mile to 2 miles away. So, what are we seeing? And then to know that we have somebody that let detectives know that they saw a car potentially get a little too close to the water right there, and nobody took this person seriously, yet we have a 16-year-old girl that was missing for 2 weeks. And the last place she was seen only got 25 feet of the water searched. But they did thorough searches in every other body of water, just not the body of water that she was last seen at. I digress. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate it. Yeah, I haven't gone over to my emails yet. Let me see what we got going on here. So we got the Truckee Way. Oh, thank you. Ooh, we'll be using that tomorrow. Thank you, Mysteries. Let me see if I got anything else. Yeah, I think that's what you're trying to see. Yeah, we'll use that tomorrow. That'll be perfect. Thank you. Who else do we got? Do you draw any suspicion from Jane Doe number 2 now if the car obviously goes in at 12:33? Well, in all reality, this is kind of what she said. I think it was the position of Bullhorn Betty that kind of pushed the narrative of her being alive possibly at 1 a.m. Because the way the conversation went, if you recall, with Jane Doe too, she basically said she saw Kiely at 12:30 and she asked Kiely if she wanted a ride. Kiely was walking back to her car and said she had a ride. She had a ride. 3 minutes later, 4 minutes later, we see her car going into the water. Think about that. That's the timeline. So I'm not sure, and not only that, but with these Jane Does and with other people that are coming forward, you got to remember, this is the recollection that they're having. And this is, months later. And when they were at that party, they were intoxicated to boot. So some of this stuff is not going to make perfect sense because of those factors. But for the most part, I mean, I think that the girls and the people that have come forward have been mostly truthful. You know, there's some that just don't want to tell their involvement. They're very distancing, which comes with the territory. A child, a 16-year-old lost their life. Of course, they're going to distance themselves as much as possible. Again, I would expect that. I would expect that from teenagers. So, you know, I do, but for the most part, I believe what they were saying. I believe that what they were saying was as truthful as it could possibly be. You know, like for Jane Doe number 1, I think she was hesitant because she didn't want her parents or didn't want anybody it getting out that she was actually out there drinking or partying. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just an opinion of speculation, you know, conjecture, so to speak, that I have about Jane Doe number 1. You know, she was a little bit younger, didn't sound like she really wanted anybody knowing she was there or partying. You know, she was like, oh, I didn't drink. I didn't partake in this. I didn't partake. She was way, way, way distancing herself. And I just don't see why anybody would want to go to a party that wasn't a partier. So it just, you know, that's the kind of, you know, I don't think that the misinformation or untruths really are a direct result of the information related to Kiely, but more so to protect themselves. Am I right? I don't know. I really don't know. Let's see what this one says. It says, since Kylie's car position in the water, it's obviously that it went in backwards. And even your mom is correct. You can see those lights on the trees and the car seems like it's going in back. Yeah, I didn't notice that. I'm telling you guys, when Mama Bullhorn just came on here and was talking about that, and I decided to go to the video and look, this is the first time I saw those lights. Okay, I'm not gonna say that, you know, I saw this earlier. I mean, if Mama Bullhorn did not come up here right now and talk about it, and I didn't go to this and look at it, I would have never seen that. But you know, we are talking about whether this car went in frontwards or backwards. We've had many conversations about it. Dolly even took his what was it, his Lambo, his model Lambo, and did some, you know, reenactments with that so we could try to figure out how this car would have been positioned in that way. And there's two possibilities. One is that it is that car had to have gone in backwards in order to get that position. However, if it went in frontwards, then it would have had to take that turn, the side to side turn versus the end over end turn. If it did the end over end turn, you would not have that position of that car unless it was going in backwards. That is the only way you're getting that position of that car. It's either if it goes in backwards, it has to do an end over end flip. If it went in frontwards, it has to do a side to side flip. So just to make sure that you understand that there is a possibility of it going in both ways and doing both of those things. Because with the window down, it could have filled up more so on one side with the buoyancy of the tires and it pushing all the air out of the cab. It could have been just enough to give it that rotation, that side to side rotation. So let's see what Sophia manipulating the timeline is significant deception. It's not like lying about frivolous details. Oh, I agree. And I don't think that they were lying. I think when she said she saw Kiely at 12:30, she saw Kiely at 12:30. There was somebody that, you know, and I think when they saw the people block the road at 12:40, those people blocked the road at 12:40. So I don't think it affected the timeline so much as it did the and if you're talking about me manipulating, no. I was taking some information that was fact and you know, drawing my own conclusion, which I tell you when it's my conclusion, when it's speculation, when it's conjecture, when it's opinion, when it's a theory, and when it's fact, so that people, especially my audience, doesn't get confused. So let's see what this says. The lady that was putting her hands on the steering wheel when they were pulling it out of the water is corrupt. Have you heard the story of her in her past? She's a bad one. No. But you know what? I did see a person with a law enforcement uniform on, not having any latex gloves on their hands, touching things that should not have been touched in this case without having proper you know, gloves and things, PPE, protective equipment, right? Personal protective equipment. That's what they have to use in law enforcement in criminal cases. They have to have PPE just like hospitals. Maybe not necessarily the gown or the mask and the head thing, but definitely the gloves and the other protective measures, right? They should be having like those little paper smocks and stuff on their shoes and all that. Like I like all that. This is a crime scene. Whether they thought it was a crime scene or not, it should have been treated as such because they didn't know what was going on. And again, we talk about an ounce of prevention being worth a pound of cure on the Bullhorn Betty channel. As a matter of fact, that's my line going out of this channel every day is be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. We're on the pound of cure. We're having to cure this issue now versus preventing the cure. So they screwed it all up. They screwed it all up. I hear we have almost 400 likes for this segment. So please go out if you haven't already. Please go out and like this this video. We find out that it's about the 1,000 likes is where we go. And as you know, Bullhorn Betty has a lot of haters. So typically coming in here, I mean, you guys do an amazing job, just by the way, but typically coming in here, before I even start it, we already have the haters going in there and disliking my video. So you know what? Tell them that we're not going to listen to their garbage anymore. Go out there and like the video and tell the haters to shut the F up with the thumbs up. Let me see if there's anything else in here that I wanted to go over. Yeah, I think we went over the 11 miles an hour. What else did I wrote some other stuff down. Okay, I think I went over everything. I think I've touched everything that I wanted to touch for this segment, guys. We'll see you back at 6 p.m. tonight. That is another 2 hours. You guys can go do whatever you need to do, but be back here because I really want, now that we have this and we have this interview and stuff, I want to revisit the tow truck guy. And I've already set it up. It is already there. It looks like Olivia just dropped the video, folks. Olivia just dropped the video. Go over to Chronicles of Olivia and watch the video drop. I just saw it drop. So we'll be back here at 6 p.m. Come back here and hang out with Bullhorn Betty and clan, and we will we'll go over this. Maybe we'll have a discussion about Olivia's video as well. So just posted another video. Yep. So guys, go over there, check out Olivia's video. That's where I'm going right now to see. I'm sure it's going to be nothing but amazing. Please don't forget to tell her thank you, guys. She works incredibly hard. This poor girl stays up all night long editing these videos, guys. And she works. She's got several jobs. And she's able to do something like that for us. She doesn't have to do this for the world. She does it for the world because she loves us. So go over there and make sure you tell her thank you. And don't forget, if you really like her stuff, she doesn't do lives a lot. She doesn't have a whole lot of members. If you would like to support her creativity, consider joining as a member on her channel. And there's always that little thank you, down at the bottom. So just, Olivia does amazing work, and I just want her to be known for the amazing work she does. She's very, very talented. And go up there and see her video, guys. And we'll see you back here at 6 o'clock. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something, because an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Good day.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.